Hi guys, so I'm going to do a video that doesn't involve a camera today because I don't actually have stuff set up for a camera right this second. I'm basically have to still fix this microphone that you're listening to. Right now it's okay, but it could be better. Um, and if this doesn't work out tomorrow, then I'm just gonna basically continue using it the way it is now. That not getting to the point of the video. So I'm gonna show you how to set up. So basically, there's software called MIDI Mix, and I'm going to show you how to. Basically, you're going to need to install MIDI Mix. You're going to need some kind of MIDI controller or some kind of controller. I recommend the korg nano control 2 because it is really nice, and basically it works out perfectly fine for me, and it may work fine for you. So I'm gonna show that to you now, and yeah. So let me just switch. Okay, so let me show you. I'm switching cameras now. So go to Google. Okay, so first thing you'll need is your MIDI controller drivers. This one I'll show you how to do it for the Korg Nano control. And so first you're gonna need to download some stuff. So first go to Google. Download the software, type in MIDI Mixer on Google, and then click this link, and then download right here. And then that's what you have downloaded. It shows you change logs and stuff like that. So you press download, you download the latest version, okay? And then once you do actually that, I'm not gonna download because I already have it. Then you basically go to Google again, type in Korg Nano Control 2, which is KORGNANOKONTROL 2 drivers, and then it comes with the first one, which is drivers control 2, and download this. So the thing is, what you'll need is so once it finished loading, so you'll need the software, which is the Korg Nano Control editor, which is the first one, which is, if you're using Windows, it's 1.7.0. Mac OS is 1.8.0. And I think, and plus, if you're using MIDI Mixer, then the only option is Windows because you're using a Windows PC, or you're using Mac OS and dual booting into Windows. As long as it's an older generation Mac, I don't know if you can do it with the new M1 chip, but that's not the point. Then you need to download whatever the latest system updater is. It's 103. If you get a Korg Nano, at least today you are getting at least 103, 1.0.3. And then what you'll need here is the drivers. Here's the Windows drivers. Here's one for 8. Here's one for 10. If you're using Windows 10, which is right here, then you download this one. They don't have a Windows 11 driver yet, so yeah, it may not be supported in Windows 11. I'm not sure yet. So, but they should have a Windows 11 driver because this is also should be compatible with actually Windows 11. But you download this one. This if you're not on the latest version, and this if you can get it to work. I didn't get it to actually work, obviously, but basically you download this mainly. After that, you install it. It'll bring up a page. Where you can download the so basically, so you can install. Make sure it's set to both on them, but you don't really have to worry about that. It should be set to MIDI number 1. So to fix that, because it won't basically work in any software like MIDI Mixer without having the driver working. So the driver doesn't work out of the box technically. To fix this, if you have this issue, if you don't have this issue, then then this isn't the problem. So what you need to do is go to type in here on your start bar if you have classic shell, or if you have just the plain Windows 10 start menu, you just type in the search bar, just start typing, and it will basically bring up, type in reg editor. You're gonna have to take this, which is korg, so capital KORG, um64.drv, which is driver. You basically take this like so, and then what you need to do is basically open reg editor, and then you need to for example, you go down to where it says h key local dot machine. Then you go down to where it says system, and then where it goes to system, if I recall correctly, you go down to control set 001. Then you if you go down to then you go to control, then you go down to class, and then in class you basically press here, press find, and then you basically put this in there, and I'll leave this on the screen just so you can see it. So let's go format, font, let's go to 24. Okay, so you just put in that into here. So like I just did, I'll just leave it there for a few seconds. Okay, so after you do that, you press Find X, and then it'll bring up this folder. This folder should have drivers midi, and then the driver name in there. And here, you basically right click, press new, and then go to string value. Once you go to string value, it'll create a new one. Then you type in alias. So, and this is a wrong folder. This is the wrong folder, actually. And I think I messed it up, yeah. So, going back here, so you go to here, but it's pretty much the same. Control set, control. It's the same, I just forgot to go down one. And then you go here, press find, same exact thing. And then this one is where you would actually have the actual alias folder at. And then once you get the alias folder in there, then you literally go down to, so once you go to alias folder, so once you created the alias folder, then you go down to the same exact one, but instead of going to system, you go to this one, which is the same exact location, but go to software, then go down to Microsoft right here, and then go down to where it says if you keep going down, Windows NT, and then you go down to current version, and then from current version, then you go down to driver 32. From here, this would basically say, this says, so basically where you basically create the string that and put alias, where it says alias at, you put where it says where you put the word alias at with a capital A inside the folder I showed you, you basically create a you put in the string midi, or instead of midi 1 or midi 2. If you have multiple korg devices, you put midi 1 for actually, if it's number 2. If you have 3, it would be midi 2. If it's 4, it would be midi through 1, 2, 3, and if there's 5, etc., all the way to however many MIDI devices that your computer can actually hold. So, or depending on how many you have. So if you have 2 nano controls, then you use 2 nano controls. You use MIDI 1 and MIDI 2, MIDI and MIDI 1. So from right there, you basically named it MIDI. So for MIDI, you basically double click on here, and then when you do actually that, it will bring up something that says this right here, which is Windows, the Windows one, the Windows audio dot driver. You basically put what you took from the drive, put there in under where it said the driver name, and you put alias. You put this right there, which would match the MIDI there. So when you do that, you shut down the computer. You restart the computer, and once you restart the computer, it should basically detect the changes. And you don't have to change anything in driver setting unless the thing says something different inside of the start program korg driver installer tool, and right here where it says configure MIDI driver / driver setup utility / right here, and so it would show up there. Now, since you got that done, and remember the software you downloaded, which was MIDI Mixer, you download that, install it, follow the instructions to actually install it. And from actually there, once it loads up, this will be empty. So then you go here. Some people like to turn off this. Some people like turning off this. The screen will be main display if you have multiple displays. And then you could literally just mess with that if you have MIDI control. So I turn off this logarithmic volume control, which is where if you turn up the volume of the controller, it will only go halfway if you turn it all the way up. So I have it start on boot and start minimized, and you can just disable this if you don't want to report any crash reports, but I recommend keeping that on. Keep up to date drivers automatically. That's what you should have pressed. That's just so it'll update automatically. Then for here, you can add your own interfaces, but these are the ones that are available. The Akai LPD8, I have one of those. It works really good. I wanted the faders just so, because it feels way better than like spinning a knob. Even though this has knobs, I only have a couple things set up on this. But you can use the Akai LPD8, the Korg Nano Control 2, the Akai MPK Mini MK2, the Akai Professional Fire, the Behringer X Touch Extended, the Behringer X Touch Mini, and then the Icon Platform M Plus, the Icon QCon Pro 02, the G2. Can read that. The Korg Nano Control Studio, which is the bigger version of the Nano Control 2, and it also has a lot more buttons on there. Then the Teenage Engineer OP1, the Ungodly Design Launchpad, and the Worldy Easy Control, which is, by the way, one of the cheaper ones. I was like $50. The Korg Nano Control 2 is $70. The Akai LPD8 is 60. The Behringer X Touch is around 65, and the rest are a little bit more expensive. This one's like $100. The Studio, but basically, after you select the actual device you want, you would click the korg nano control, and you would basically add it to the actual so you would actually click the profile, the preset over here, add over here, then you actually click it, and it will say load, okay, and then you can basically just copy it over. It will say load, copy, and then share, remove. So you press copy, it will copy it over to where it says save profiles, and then for input, because it didn't show up for me, you press input, and it shows everything that's on here. So the faders 1 through 8, and knobs 1 through 8, because there's 8 faders and then 8 knobs. The knobs are there for something I want to use them for. I'm not for sure what I'm going to use them for right now at this exact moment. And there's also knobs. And if you click on the knob, there's that. And then they also have this, which is control, faders, and stuff like that. So basically, fader 1 is, if you look at it, I'm just going to show you. Fader 1 actually has, fader 1 is volume control, and then the M button, because it has fader, knob, S, then they have M, and then B. I mean SMR. And so basically, because I use the M for actually mute, and S you can assign stuff if you wanted to, and R can run stuff. That's how this is set up here, but you can change it around. But fader, the actual volume 1 is for fader. What I have that set up for is going over here, set up for Firefox. So I can basically lower it down with a fader like this, and it's actually very satisfying. But going back to here and here, you literally can control these to do what you want. But going here, this is what the buttons have. So the track previous, which they have previous track, which is the back button, and the track next, which I have for next for like media, and previous for actually media, which is the previous track button, and next track button is for next, and then the start button is for playing media for in like OBS. I mean, not playing media in OBS, is for playing media in like VLC and stuff like that. And then the stop button is for stopping stuff. And then the fast forward isn't assigned to anything at the moment, but what I was going to do was basically assign them something. So basically, the record button is also K. The actual rewind button, I'm going to basically go send key combination, so you can do any combination, okay? So I'm just going to go previous for J, and then fast forward is same thing right here, L. And if you've used YouTube, you L on the keyboard is for fast forward, and J is for rewind. So after that, you go back here, make sure it's stuck, and then you have the marker set, the marker next, marker previous, and the cycle button. Just going to leave those as is. So now, let me go to YouTube. And so just this is a video I was playing. You can't hear it, I don't think, at least. Yeah. So this is a video I was playing. So if you see this, it's playing. I can turn up volume, and the volume's up on here, but you can hear it. But if I basically press the M button on this actual keyboard, I mean on the nano control, you can see it shows it's muted. And now when I press again, it doesn't. It basically unmutes. And so when I basically press the record button on here, you can't see it because I actually don't have a camera set up. But once I press it, it basically stops. I mean, it pauses. So do it again. It basically plays again. So, and that button is rewind. So yeah, so there's that. You can't really see it, but there's that. So going back here, that's how I have that set up. And so you can literally do actually that. So I'm going to show you how to add an actual application, and this is the only way I know how to do it fresh now. But for the fader, I'm going to basically open Fubar, which is a music playing software. So music playing software I have, which is right here, has music right here. So it's open, and basically when I press fader 2, and then I can going to basically pick Fubar right here. So I don't know if this will play, and I can. Okay, so Fubar's there. So Fubar's there. That's fader 1. That's fader 2. Now I'm gonna open up this software here, VLC, and I'll go to fader 3, fader 3. And now the last software I'm going to use, which is I'm going to go OBS. Not that I actually need to. No, I'm not going to go OBS. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. So I'm just setting this up with you. So because I actually had to reset this up because I just got this. So I'm opening up my editing software, which is going to probably take up a lot of bandwidth. I mean a lot of CPU. I said bandwidth. Okay, so you go here, you pick it just in case it shows up. Probably it won't. Oh well. Oh well, that sucks. Okay. So at least it's OBS is fine. And now another software I'm going to use for is was not really software. It's this right here, which is my audio interface, I think, and this one, which I think is my microphone. So let's try the fourth one from the sixth. That one's my microphone. So number 6 is the microphone. Number 7 is a speaker. I mean, number 5 is a speaker. And then this one's OBS. So, as you can see. And then if we basically press, if we press 6 and press mute, So I press M to mute the microphone, as you see, because as you see, you won't be able to hear what I say. Okay, now I'm talking again. So yeah. So I can basically slide these back and forth, and it would work. Okay, number 7 is pretty easy. Number 7, I'm going to put my TV. I'm thinking, I don't know actually. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna make sure. I don't actually know because this is different because I actually have never used this one before. I wonder if I can take number 8 and then I don't know. I'm gonna try that. So this is basically uncharted territory. So let's see this one. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, okay, whatever. So okay, so yeah. Okay, I actually have an idea. So sorry about this. This is literally something I just thought of. So let's go cycle. I'm gonna put cycle. So with cycle, I can do combinations of default inputs. Actually, output actually. So there's that. This one I think it is, and this one. I'll test that later, but it's one of those two that basically when I press cycle, it'll switch between my audio interface. So I can actually check that right now. So go to how you check to see because if you have more than one inputs, for example, an audio interface and TV speakers, and the speakers being hooked up to actually the actual soundbar. I mean, the speakers being hooked up to audio interface, and the audio interface being hooked to the computer, and the TV being hooked to the computer. But they both have sound as long as you have NVIDIA or like Intel drivers. The Intel one, it just uses Realtek drivers or whatever your sound drivers are. For laptop specifically, for this laptop, it uses a NVIDIA card, and so in here you go to sound, you go to sound settings, and then you go to here. As you can see, it shows Samsung, and it also shows the device. So if I press cycle, it switches. So I picked the right one. So if I press cycle once, it will go to the Samsung TV and it'll play audio through extra speakers from right there. So if I don't want to have my studio monitors on and I just want to watch something not on headphones, I can just press this button and switch between there. And if I want to basically switch to my actual speakers, and then I can unplug these actual headphones. But if I want to actually switch to headphones, then I just plug in the headphones, and I can also press the button right here, and it'll work. So yes. I'm just pressing again, and I'm switching back to my audio interface. So that's that. So that's what the marker is not used, neither the marker next previous. So that's all being used. So going back to here, now I can basically use the fader to increase the volume of the Samsung TV or bring it down. and now 8 fader, which is something that's important. So when you're playing a game or doing something that actually it is actually in like focus. So when you're playing a game first say, instead of having to add every single game you actually play on here, you literally can just use this knob right here, and then it'll be in focus. You actually just use basically you put one of the faders to 8 or knobs to 8 if you have a knob. So let's just say I'm actually right here playing this video again. So literally I can just basically fade it down, fade up, and since it's in there, it's actually freshly Firefox. I just mainly have that for like when I'm playing games, and when I'm using Firefox or Foobar, I just use the one that it's actually with. So so that's that. Um, and now I have 8 knobs left, and for example, I could put it on stuff like my um, like for example, I'm gonna open this, which is Cakewalk, and I can use this for actually a knob. So knob 1, if it loads up, no, that one doesn't work. So I just was actually thinking I could get that to work. So the system sound one, which is number 1, I can basically get rid of system sound. Yeah, there you go. And so that's just one thing I thought about adding there. Let's see. Let's see, remote desktop connection. So that's there. So number 2 would be Microsoft operating system. So that's number 2 because this is stuff I normally use. And let's see. So let me close this. I just have Steam closed because I don't actually need it when it boots. So Steam, and I'm just gonna close it. So yeah, so go to knob 4. I'm just gonna close actual Steam right now because I don't really need it open right now. So that's just stuff I usually use. And I gotta uninstall that. So and so I'm just gonna do knob number 4, which will be Edge, because if it allows it. So there you go. Yeah, so that's what I would normally use. The only new thing is basically because I was actually using my Kai LPDH for similar stuff. The only thing that was new was Microsoft Edge because I was using Steam on there. I was using um the Windows operating system software for basically controlling my remote desktop. This is for system sounds. Some of this could be redundant. This is for controlling my microphone and my audio interface. This is for OBS for when I need to certain things. I know OBS to be muted. And basically stuff I basically use every day. So this is what I use for searching. This is what I use for music. This is what I use for actually video, recording sometimes, and also doing some streaming occasionally. This is for um, recording video, and this is using the Electro voice for now. This is the TV, the monitor I'm using, which is technically a TV, but I'm using it right now because it's good quality 4K screen that is bigger, and it's 120 hertz, so I can push it. And also, this is the focus thing that I like using a lot. So, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. That is basically a setup of it. Yeah, okay. Thanks for watching.